When this movie was released in theaters, me and Simon just frankly weren't very interested in seeing it. It just looked like another rom-com or romance movie that just really didn't pique our interest at all. And then when this was released on Blu-ray and DVD, we started hearing a whole lot of buzz about this movie, how it was directed, how well it was acted. And so we actually did something that we never do. We went out and actually bought this movie before we saw it. And that movie is Age of Adaline. Age of Adaline stars Blake Lively, Harrison Ford, Kathy Baker, and a YouTuber who is an extraordinary impressionist, Anthony Ingruber. I'm sure a lot of you already know about him. He actually got the role of this movie because he does an impersonation of Harrison Ford so well.
Junior? Yes, sir. It is you, Junior. Don't call me that, please.
We're definitely going to be hearing from this guy a lot more now that this movie's come out. So I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers. I don't do that. So I'm going to just put the plot summary very, very simply. Blake Lively plays Adaline, who one night with some sort of freak accident, she is suddenly able not to age. Which sounds awesome. You're never going to be able to age. You look the same as you did when you were in your 20s. Except this movie showed the other side of the coin. It actually showed the turmoil she goes through where she realizes, you know what? I can't stay in a certain town for very long, otherwise people are going to start asking questions. I don't want to take pictures because if someone sees a picture of me years later on, I'm going to look the same and questions are going to arise. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Blake Lively, and I really haven't seen a whole lot more of her. And I tell you, I was blown away by her acting in this movie. She completely embodied this character, which was amazing because the producers actually didn't even want her cast as the lead. They wanted a more established, more known actress than Blake Lively was. But the director, he fought tooth and nail with the studio, with the producers. Blake Lively fought tooth and nail to get this part 2. And finally, the studio and the producers caved in and cast Blake Lively. Not a whole lot of people have seen her range of acting. She is just a phenomenal actress, and she really proves this in this movie. She also had a tricky thing to do where she had to be sad, but not too sad. She wasn't overwhelmingly sad, where the movie was dark and depressing. She has to continually change who she is, change her identity. So yeah, as you can tell, we were very, very impressed by her acting. And of course, Harrison Ford, phenomenal as always. You don't see Harrison Ford. Instead, you see this character that he's portraying, and he makes it real to you. Kathy Baker also did a great job. And again, going back to Anthony Ingruber, when I first saw him, I thought to myself, okay, replaced Harrison Ford's voice over his voice. And then I did some research. Awesome impressionist, and he was born to play a young Harrison Ford. In fact, there's been talk about him portraying Indiana Jones. I also need to talk about the direction. This movie was directed beautifully, and that's also with the cinematographer. The director of photography is David Lazenberg. He's done all of this director's movies, and between them two, it was just very beautifully done. Now, it's not to say that every part of this movie was good. Biggest complaint I have really is the narration. As you guys know, we are not big fans of narration. A lot of times it's used, sometimes unintentionally, it really kind of insults the audience. And the narration in this movie was used kind of that way. In fact, I was about ready to turn it off because I just can't stand narration. It just drives me nuts. First of all, the narration wasn't even from the lead character's point of view. It was from some other voice that had no relationship to the movie at all. I don't know, unless they were portraying the narrator as God. Whatever the case is, it was stupid. The narration told exactly what you were seeing on the screen. We don't need to be told what we're seeing on screen. We don't need to be told that this character's sad. We don't need to be told that this character is walking home or driving. We don't need to be told these things. I can think during a movie. I don't need somebody to spoon feed it to me. Narration just sucks to me unless it's done right. Watch David Fincher movies. He has narration through it, but it's done for a reason. There's a purpose for it. Progresses the movie. It's used for a purpose. It's done right. And that's exactly what this movie lacked in narration. It wasn't done for a purpose. It was completely needless. Fortunately, though, it was only done periodically in the movie. I read some reviews, and some reviews said that the narration came when it needs to come. I didn't understand that at all because we didn't need it at all in this movie. Along with some couple of the flaws, there were some other flaws in character development and in the storyline. But again, it was beautifully directed. It was beautifully shot. So you forgave the movie for those flaws. Nevertheless, I did really enjoy this movie. Simon enjoyed the movie as well. Now, the Blu-ray quality made the cinematography pop even more. For the video quality, I'm going to give a 5 out of 5. That is really rare for us to get that high of a rating, but I tell you, it's just beautifully shot. And the color palettes, everything was just perfect. I really, really fell in love with the way this movie was directed and shot. Audio quality, I'm going to give probably a 4 out of a 5. There wasn't a whole lot of surround effects that really stood out, but it was still very clear. The music, the sound effects, the dialogue never overlapped one another or drowned out one another. The special features, I'm going to give a 3.5 out of 5. It does have some really good special features. It has audio commentary. It has deleted scenes. It has a segment about Anthony Ingruber. It was good, but I did want more from the special features. So that's why I'm giving it a 3.5 out of a 5. For the overall Blu-ray, I'm going to give a 4.5 out of a 5. Again, I buy it. So as always, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Help us out to get our subscribers up. We want to try to get up to 100 subscribers. And so help us out by getting the word out there of our channel. So as always, guys, we'll see you in the future.